to Agata Nalborczyk, who is a professor of Arabic and the Faculty of Oriental Studies at the Warsaw University. She's also a professor of Islamic and Religious Studies. She's a member of the Committee for Dialogue with the Non-Christian Religions of the Polish Bishops' Conference and the co-president of the Common Council of Catholics and Muslims in Poland. The title of her paper today is Christian and Muslims in Poland and the Concepts of the Document on Human Fraternity.
Okay, hello to everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me for this conference. And it was really nice to see you, Tobias. We haven't seen each other for a longer time. So I don't know who has changed the title. Maybe it was me. Sorry. But I just chose the word ideas of the document on human fraternity. It doesn't matter. So I am also the member of the European Council of Religious Leaders, which is a part of Religions for Peace Europe, a new organization. When I got an invitation to this conference, I just started to think about this document, and I tried to find some quotations that can be useful for Christian-Muslim dialogue in Poland, Christian-Muslim relations in Poland, or can be just somehow used as instruments or a basis for this dialogue. And what I realized is in my conclusions. So first are these quotations. The document is not so long, so I think you know them. I just put some of these quotations here in a slide, like for example, to spread the culture of tolerance and living together in peace. And of course, in the name of God, the document starts. So those who signed the declaration, they promise to adopt the culture of dialogue as the path, mutual cooperation, the code of conduct, and reciprocal understanding as the method and standard. So also to discover the values of peace, justice, goodness, beauty, human fraternity, and coexistence in order to confirm the importance of these values as anchors of salvation for all, and to promote them everywhere. And also a very important quotation, I think, is the third and most important aim of religions is to believe in God, to honor Him, and to invite all men and women to believe that this universe depends on God who governs it. He is the Creator who has formed us with His divine wisdom and has granted us the gift of life to protect it. So there are also some others which are still connected to the promotion of culture of tolerance, acceptance of others, living together peacefully, and then to contribute significantly to reducing many economic, social, political, and environmental problems that weigh so heavily on a large part of humanity. If this is our case, it's another issue. But also the declaration should be a witness to the greatness of faith in God that unites divided hearts and elevates the human soul. Yeah, and it is also a sign of the closeness between all who believe that God has created us to understand one another and cooperate with one another and live as brothers and sisters who love one another. So we just will have now a short and fast look at the situation of Christian-Muslim dialogue in Poland. The first thing is, of course, the Common Council of Catholics and Muslims that was established in 1997. The date is a special one because it was a celebration of 300 years of Muslim Tatar settlement on the territory of today's Poland. So King John III Sobieski gave land to Tatars 1697. Yes, so we have meetings of the Common Council of Catholics and Muslims. So we are Catholics and Muslims who work together, and we have always a co-president from the Catholic side and a co-president from the Muslim side, which is especially difficult when you deal with local government, because they cannot understand how usually when it's an association you have one president and we have two. As examples of our activities, for example, there was interreligious march of solidarity with persecuted Christians, and I think it was a very important event. Although it was already in 2014, but people of different faiths participated in this event. Here you can see on the left side, this is our president from the Muslim side at that time, Andrzej Saramovich, a Sufi. Then we have a Jesuit here in the middle, at the bottom, Zygmunt Kwiatkowski, who spent 40 years working in Syria. And then we have the Rabbi of Poland, Michael Szudrik. And there were also young Muslims participating in this march, and they had banners not in my name, which I think was also very important. We also organized, as you can see, our cooperation with Bobolanum started quite early, because 2009 we had a meeting, religious festivals in Christianity and Islam. It was a part of Week of Muslims and Christian meetings that was organized all over Europe. Then we had a meeting about the mosque and the church and the mosque, and then holy places in Christianity and Islam. And also what is important, I think, to mention is that we celebrate the Day of Islam in the Roman Catholic Church in Poland. It was already mentioned here, but this year we celebrated here this Day of Islam for the 24th time. So it is quite a long time, and this celebration is included in the official calendar of the Roman Catholic Church in Poland. And again, it is not a coincidence that I have a photo of this church here, of the sanctuary, because the second Day of Islam in the Roman Catholic Church was celebrated, in fact, here. As you are going to see it on the photos. So this is like how it looked like. This is the program. So there were usually at the beginning, during every time of Islam, the John Paul II speech delivered at the Umayyad Great Mosque was always read as an important text. Then they were reading from the holy books, from the Bible and the Quran, and then there were addresses by Muslim representatives, usually usually a representative of ambassadors of Arab and Muslim countries. And of course, there was a homily by Bishop Tadeusz Pikus at the time, who was the delegate for the dialogue between Catholics and Muslims. So it was in the academic chapel at the time. This is interestingly 2002. So Imam Miśkiewicz at the time was not a mufti, because he was elected mufti 2004, but he just come back from his studies in Saudi Arabia, where we have the Bishop Tadeusz Pikus and people listening. And then, of course, at the end there's Agata, so sharing of food. And it was the main celebration. Usually there are also local celebrations, and here you can see local celebration in the academic church in Lublin. At the time, there were two Steyler missionaries working at the Catholic University of Lublin, St. Pawgrodź. So you can see him on both pictures. Now works in Germany. Then we have the seventh Day of Islam in the Roman Catholic Church. It was moved to Żoliborz. And it was an interesting, really, meeting. I really like this photo of Imam reading the Quran, and you can see John Paul II on the painting on the wall. And it was, and it was an exchange between the previous delegate for the dialogue between Catholics and Muslims, Bishop Tadeusz Pikus, and the new one at the time, Bishop Romuald Kamiński. And again, there were celebrations, local celebrations in Lublin, and you were able to listen to the Adhan in the Catholic Church, because it was part of prayer. And then the 9th day of Islam, it was moved to Praga, to maybe not to St. Florian Cathedral as such, but to the community room that belonged to the parish. And I really also like these pictures because they show the atmosphere. So atmosphere is really very lovely. People just are smiling at themselves and exchanging nice words. And I think that the photo at the bottom is like connected to the celebration we had yesterday. So the festival of the celebration of Annunciation. So they are only Muslims, under this standing in front of this painting with Mary. So this was the 10th day of Islam, and from this point of the 2010. We started to somehow have a title of this Day of Islam, and the title came and the subject came from, and still comes from the message for the month of Ramadan that is issued at the time by Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue. It was at the time, it was Christian and Muslims, the instruments of the divine mercy. And this is the 15th day. It was celebrated in the University, Kardynał Wyszyński University, Catholic University. And there was a change. So now we have a new bishop that is a delegate of the Polish Bishop Conference for the dialogue between Catholics and Muslims, Henryk Ciereszko from Białystok. So this is why the 17th day of Islam was celebrated in Białystok. And I think this one is also important because 2018, the title was Christians and Muslims responsible for our earth. So it was connected to Laudato Si. This is why we had, as one of speakers, we had a Franciscan priest who is really interested in this subject. And also we had we started to have two muftis at a certain point because we have a mufti of the Tatar organization, Muslim Religious Union in Poland. This one on the left side, and then at the bottom on the right side we have Nidal Abu Tabak. His son we are able to see yesterday, but unfortunately Mufti Nidal Abu Tabak died because of COVID. But he was very much involved in the Christian-Muslim dialogue. So this is like the invitation looks like. It was the 20th day of Islam. And local celebrations are now in Krakow and Katowice and even in London. There is a meeting of Shia Sheikh Arkadiusz Miernik and the Polish parish priest. So it's like also not only celebrated in Poland. And again, we came back to Bobolanum. So this is the 20th day of Islam was celebrated here, as we can see. And these pictures will also show the atmosphere. So we have also other events. So celebrating of the Annunciations. The first celebration was 2019, and it was here, Collegium Bobolanum, very nicely organized. 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't have pictures of the celebrations yesterday, but now I have them, so I can now add. But what's important also, that was the 1st of October 2001. Remember, it was just after 9/11. And it was also Muslims were invited to pray for peace. And it was in the Lutheran Church in Warsaw. Also, there was an initiative by Catholic, at the time monthly, now quarterly, Więź, the Bond, to publish a lexicon about the knowledge for journalists. Don't be afraid of Islam. It still exists on the web page of this lexicon, and it was awarded by the International Catholic Union of the Press. And of course, for example, there was a convention, Gniezno Convention, Europe of Dialogue, 2005 in Gniezno, and Christians and Muslims and Jews prayed for in the intention of Europe. So I don't have time to tell you some stories behind this prayer, but it was really very interesting. And then we have this four gentlemen shaking hands. At the time, Michael Fitzgerald was the president of the Pontifical Council for the Interreligious Dialogue. And there was also one event like Echo of Assisi or Symposium in Katowice, Pilgrims of Truth, Pilgrims of Peace. And I think what is also worth mentioned, so Muslims in Katowice started to organize the Day of Christianity among Polish Muslims as a response to the Day of Islam in the Roman Catholic Church. And Tatars, because they have their own traditional mosque, so they also organize prayers for peace and justice in the world. So it is just, I have these pictures, they are nice because my husband made them. and I am allowed just, to show them freely. So again, you see the Bishop Romuald Kamiński, Helena Szachidewicz, who was a founding member of, still is, at the beginning, she was a founding member of the Common Council of Catholics and Muslims. And I'm going to show you at the end a quite interesting photo, because you can see it's a minbar. So usually the place from which the sermon is delivered. And then you see the Bishop Kamiński standing on the minbar delivering his message to Muslims. And of course, I was not there because I was in the place for women. So this is why my husband could take these pictures. So some conclusions. So Christian and Muslims in Poland, they live in peace. So they do not face such issues like war, armed conflicts, or violence based on religious differences or ethnic differences. And Polish Muslims also have a special legal situation. They are they enjoy the privileges of an officially recognized religious community. So one could say, okay, their life is not problematic, but still there are some issues like stereotyping, intolerance, or some Islamophobia. But also, I think, lack of knowledge about Christianity, not only about Islam within the Christian minority, but also about Christianity among newly arrived Muslim immigrants. I'm not talking about Tatars. Because Tatars have participated in Christian-Muslim dialogue for centuries, even if this activity was not called Christian-Muslim dialogue, because they had a tradition of inviting themselves. In one village you could have Catholics, Orthodox, and Muslims, so they used to invite each other for religious festivals. Or, for example, Tatars were invited to pray for rain. I don't know why, but it was perceived that people thought that Muslim prayer was somehow better. So Tatars were invited to pray on a field for rain, and then they were offered gifts for this. So also Tatars were at the beginning of the establishment of, at the beginning of the Common Council of Catholics and Muslims. And to celebrate the Day of Islam in the Roman Catholic Church also was the idea of the Common Council. So it was somehow, some Muslims were also connected to this idea. So they were active in the religious activities from the beginning. Muslims of immigrant background, of course, are in a little bit worse situations. They have to find out more about these interreligious activities, what is possible in Poland. So this is why they joined these activities later. But some of them responded with this Day of Christianity, but as well as with more traditional activities like iftars. 1 week ago, I participated in an iftar organized by this Double Dialogue Institute. So it was a very nice event. And we have one also new activity, the calendar of three religions. It was published firstly by the Katolicka, then later in Poznań. So, yes, so Christian and Muslim in Poland had anticipated the ideas of the document on human fraternity somehow because of the special Polish situation and traditional Muslim presence in Poland. So when you think about this quotation, to spread the culture of tolerance and of living together in peace, or to be a witness of the greatness of faith in God that unites divided hearts and elevates the human soul, or to be a sign of the closeness between all who believe that God has created us to understand one another, cooperate with one another, and live as brothers and sisters who love one another. So I think, so this is a special situation in Poland, and these are my conclusions. So thank you very much.